Howdy. I guess that's how I always say hi when I enter a live. Howdy from Texas. Piping and camping. I was just sitting here catching up on YouTube tonight and thought, you know what? I've never tried this whole live thing and nobody else happens to be live at the moment. So I figured I'd give it a shot. So I'm trying to figure out, y'all have to bear with me. This is the first time I've gone live. So I'm logged into another account and watching the comments. So we'll see how much lag there is. No, I didn't. The video on old pops. Sounds like I should be in the know, but I'm not. I just finished making a video and am in the process of uploading. River Rat, hey man, how's it going? Giving this this live thing a chance here. He played from River Rat. There you go. Special requests. That's awesome. I'm just sitting here enjoying a libation, smoking my pipe that I just finished doing a quick polish on. And this is what I call my Simon view. So this is a view in my garage. Just chilling on the couch. Well, I'm glad you joined me, brother. A brother of the wind. There are a few of us in the YTPC that enjoy riding bikes. And River Rat is one of them. There's a number of others. Eric Rand is another. In fact, I just found out that Eric Rand is right down the road from me, like right about an hour from here. So I'd imagine there's going to be a meetup in the very near future. How's it going, Stogie? I just heard, I was watching a video earlier today, and I can't remember who it was. I watched so many of them. I just heard that somebody did a call out for you. They shouted out your channel, and I can't remember who it was. Can't for the life of me remember, but know that you got a shout out today. If you haven't seen it, I'd check through some of the most recent videos. Piping and camping, you got to get that bike tagged, man. There is, well, I guess I was gonna say, there's no reason not to be riding. I guess most of the country has a pretty dang good reason for not riding right now, because it's cold just about everywhere. We're gonna be close to the 70s tomorrow, so I am waking up bright and early and gonna meet some buddies. Oh, about 8:30 a.m. and we're gonna go for a ride tomorrow. That's how nice it is here. About a 20% chance of rain. Right, an Ultra. I used to have an Ultra. Its name was Butch. And God rest his soul. He was my first bagger. And he didn't fare so well when he met the road. This is about a year and a half ago. I was riding home. It had just started raining, and I hit a curve on the bike. And it was the apex of a curve combined with the apex of the top of a hill. and it was just slick enough that the back tire just let loose, and Butch went on his last ride. Oh, Dirty Nelly needs a clutch. Well, River Rat, looks like you're going to have a new garage here in the very near future where you can give Dirty Nelly a little love and attention. So excited for you, man. I've been keeping up on your videos, watching your progress as things move along, and very excited for you, brother. I know that's a milestone for you. Sounds like you've worked hard to get to this point. John Laughlin. I think a couple of days ago we crossed paths in a live for somebody else. And I think I made a comment around something to the fact that I've been watching your videos for quite a while, but we've never really crossed paths, so welcome. Yeah, man, you got to watch out for stupid people. In this case, Butch passed on based on my own stupidity. Got a little road rash when I laid it down, but I'm a pretty safe rider. I ride with a helmet. In fact, I ride with a helmet because I'm in the shop. I can show you this. I ride with a helmet. I ride with usually at least a leather vest, boots, jeans, that kind of thing. But this was, I don't know if you guys can see this very good, but that's where my head hit the ground right there. This was the helmet that I was wearing when I laid the bike down. And this is actually pretty tame. The bike was pretty messed up. It went for a ride. But you know, as is the case with a lot of things, when something bad happens, there's always usually something good that comes out of it. And that's how I ended up with Sully and the name for my channel. So I can't really complain. I survived. Butch didn't, but Butch's legacy lives on. Let's see. Trying to keep up here. So second Ultra. I originally, when I bought my Ultra to begin with, I actually wanted to buy a Road Glide at the time, but I had just finished a trip from Sturgis, and my wife went with me, and we had it was a Softail Standard, and she said, look, we need a bigger bike if we're going to be doing these rides, and I obliged and went out and got my Ultra. But I wanted a Road Glide because I just like the looks of the Road Glides a lot better. I've always liked those since they came out with them, even the older versions. And when I bought my bike, it was 2009, and they did not have the Ultra version of the Road Glide at the time. And I knew that she was going to want to do some, long hauls, and she'd want a nice comfy seat. So I wasn't able to get the Road Glide, but I love that Street Glide. The Street Glide was a great bike. I did quite a bit to it. At some point on my channel, I'll show some pictures of my old bikes, but yeah, that was a great bike. I had determined that I was going to ride that bike forever, that I wasn't ever going to sell it, and that came true. I didn't sell it. I did, however, get a nice insurance check for it when it was totaled. But hey, what can you do, man? There's two kinds of riders in this world. There's those that have gone down and those that will. And so if you spend any time on a bike, it's bound to happen eventually. So what are you guys smoking? I got my, I think I showed this earlier, but I got my It's a Peterson P-Lip Limerick 106, and I got a little Esoterica and Soda Bed. Yeah, man. If I had, I tell you, I look back at the old bikes. I really wished I had a lot of those bikes again. Prince Albert in an old WDC Thoroughbred Estate. Nice. I like estate pipes. If you can't tell, I've got several of them. Um, Interestingly enough, none of the ones that you see in this picture right here are estate pipes. These are all new pipes. But the video that I just uploaded, I don't think I've made it public yet because I want to change the thumbnail and all that stuff, is actually a video of this pipe right here. So if you've watched my channel, you've probably heard me talk a little bit about the Shape 55, Castello Shape 55s. I love the Shape 55. For some reason, that chin that these things have, this is not a Castello, by the way, but that chin that these things have, just, it looks slick to me. And this pipe right here, I hand carved. So I just finished it tonight, finished polishing it in the video that I uploaded. But this is a handmade pipe. It started off a block very similar to this one, and that's the end result. Nice straight grain on one side, little flame there on the front, more straight grain on the back, little bird's eye on the very bottom. Turned out to be a nice looking pipe. I have not smoked it yet. I literally just finished polishing it tonight. Pipe Tree, welcome, sir. See, Boswell's. I love Boswell's. I've tried a number of their Englishes. A lot of people talk about Northwoods. I do like Northwoods. Don't get me wrong. It's a great tobacco, but I actually like Countryside better than their Northwoods. If you haven't had a chance to try Countryside, I highly recommend that stuff. This Esoteric is good though. This is and Soda Bed. I just picked up a couple more Esotericas yesterday, I think, on pipes and cigars. Picked up a couple of tins, one Margate and then another in Soda Bed, which is what I'm smoking right now. Thanks, Piping and Camping. I'll talk a little bit about this in the video that I just uploaded too, but this is, I've made several pipes from these hobby kits. And this particular one, I really wanted to have kind of that Shape 55 look. And in this case, instead of using power tools, I literally hand sanded with 80 grit sandpaper from the block all the way down to this. And the reason that I did that is because I wanted to, I've done several of these pipes and I've used a Dremel tool with some cutting bits, and I find that as I move fast, I get impatient and I go really fast on a lot of these big sections, and then I find that I make mistakes and it ends up changing how I want the pipe to look and how it ends up. So on this one, I literally sanded it by hand. I mean, the entire thing. Block sanded, hand sanded, everything. Hand bent the stem to try to emulate as close as I could get to a Castello Shape 55. I think I got pretty close. Not perfect, but then again, I'm not a master pipe carver. I just do it for fun when I'm sitting watching all these YouTube videos, trying to keep up with this community. Oh, look at that. That beer's empty. Well, we got to fix that. That's better. So this beer here that I just poured, you see it got a little cloudy there. This is actually one of the last homebrews that I did. I call it Dazed and Confused. Yes, River Rat, that was a Yabo. Yet another beer opening. I love that. I don't know why that tickled me that night. I'd had maybe a couple of bourbons at that point, and I thought, well, yet another beer opening. Hello, bourbon starts with B too, so I had to do a VR for you there. Yeah, the hobby blocks are pretty cool. I will tell you. Have you ever done one before, piping and camping? Have you ever done a hobby block pipe yet? Okay, I'll give you a word of caution because every one of them is kind of the same. This one here was. See if I can do this. This one here was it's a 9mm. So if you got a 9mm, there's a couple of things I'll give you a word of caution about. One is when you go to, if you're going to bend the stem at all, be very careful when you heat this up because these 9mm hobby block kits, look at that. I mean, I don't know if you can see this or not, but I can squeeze that and it bends pretty easy. And it's real easy when you're heating up the stem to overheat this part right here, and it'll want to bend inside the stem when you go to actually bend the stem. This one here is a non-filtered version. So I would assume I'm going to run into a little less of a problem, but I'm going to probably leave this one straight anyway. The other thing I will tell you is you'll have to be very careful because these are already pre-cut, I guess you call them shanks. I don't know what you call them. There's probably a technical term for it. But you gotta be real careful because as you get down into this part of the wood right here, you're gonna have a real easy tendency to nick and scratch this thing quite a bit. So make sure that you've got some extra material here so that if you do, for some reason, nick it, you can draw that down a little bit. That's why I find the non-filtered versions a little bit more forgiving when you're starting your first hobby block. But the reality is most of them are the 9mm. So you just gotta be real careful around that. And you'll see, if you look real close, you'll see there's a line right here. That's one place that I nicked it. And then you might be able to get a shadow right there. See where that light stops? Right there is another nick. That's why that light stops right there. It doesn't go all the way over. So it is what it is, but they're fun, man. They're fun to play around. Hey, River Rat, night, man. Thanks for checking in. I'm probably not gonna make this video, this live video, too long. Like I said, I was just kind of playing around with the live. I've never done a live. Wanted to see what it's like, and interestingly enough, I've got two phones going, which makes it kind of interesting, but both non-filtered. All right, well, you're one up. That'll make it a little bit easier so that if you do nick it for some reason, you got a little bit more forgiveness. The other thing, and I don't know how well versed you are on these, but when you go to sand the stem, make sure, or even the shank, make sure that you connect the stem to the shank when you sand it and make sure it's in position. Because what you're gonna do is you're gonna sand those together, and that's what makes that fine line, nice transition between the stem and that shank. Hopefully that helps. Like I said, it's trial and error, man. I've done several of these. I've screwed up several of them as I was making them, but you know, at the end of the day, even if you mess it up, as long as you plan on just keeping the pipe yourself, they're all still pretty good smokers. They do a pretty good job at drilling them and making sure everything is in order. Yeah. So who all we got on here? It's looks like we got about 4 people. So started off kind of a late night for me. Had a girls' basketball game, all that good stuff. Got home. I've been trying to catch up on all the community posts. There's a lot of them. Oh yeah, I did. I actually saw that. I didn't. I jumped in right at the end of your live, and you'd mentioned that I think Simon might be going live, which I think he usually does either on Friday or Saturday night. Maybe it's Saturday night. But double check, he wasn't live, so I figured I'd go ahead and pop one open for a little bit. And yeah, the hobby blocks are drilled pretty good. You probably can't see down in there, but the hole, I mean, the hole is perfectly drilled on this one and on this one as well. Now, these are both not from Pipes and Cigars. I think you can get the Molina kits from, what is it, tobaccopipes.com. You can get a couple, you can get them a couple of different places. You can also get them on eBay. I got these based on Simon's recommendation from Alexander, and I can't remember the actual name. It's Alexander Breyer or Alexander Pipes. It's somewhere overseas from where I am. I'm in Austin, Texas. But I bought those on the same site that Simon just purchased a bunch of his Breyer that he's going to be playing with. And these are probably the best drilled hobby blocks I've seen so far. And I've done, like I said, I've done a handful of them, about 5 before these. Hey, Pipe Tree, no worry, man. Like I said, it was a long day for me. I just got home, popped on, saw you were live, decided to join, and I have impeccable timing. What can I say? That's what my wife says anyway. I always have good timing. It's not great timing. Usually I end up on the end of conversations and end of the, big decisions. I'm okay with that, though. GQ tobacco. I have ordered, what did I order from GQ? I ordered, because they won't ship tobacco to the U.S. I wish they would, because there's a lot of things out there that I've found and wasn't able to buy. But what did I buy there? Oh, I bought a Falcon. I bought a Falcon bent pipe and a couple of Falcon bowls from them. And believe it or not, I mean, I was kind of interested in Falcon. I've got a couple of metal pipes. I've got is it a Heber Radiator? I believe it's called a Radiator. In fact, it's right here. That's the Radiator pipe that I have. And I love the way that pipe smokes. It is kind of an interesting design, but I don't smoke it in public often because, it's kind of weird enough sometimes smoking a pipe in public, but when you pull this thing out, this draws all kinds of weird looks from people thinking that, you're smoking something, say, other than tobacco. But I love the way this pipe smokes, and I started looking at other metal pipes and ended up finding the Falcon pipes, and GQ was one of the best prices that I could find a Falcon for. I mean, compared to the stuff that I was finding in the US, even on eBay, the GQ price was a lot better. Yeah, I think so. This is, I think all of the radiator pipes kind of have this shape. They're not all like the poker style. They're not all just the short little shank here. They do a number of bent versions that kind of come out and come up like that. But all of the bowls are shaped this way, and I really like these because cleanup on these things is a piece of cake. So, and I haven't washed this. I smoked it a couple of times. I've smoked it a few times, but you can't see down in that hole. But you can literally just take this thing to the sink and wash it out. I mean, everything's either aluminum or I don't know if that's acrylic. It seems like acrylic. You can literally take this thing to the sink and just wash it out. So it gets really, really clean. And then this is the bowl, and the bowl completely comes off. You can see it's got a little bit of a cavity here where you screw it in. It's got threads inside of it. And this is a Morgan Bones version. But I think all the bowls are shaped this way. I like the Morgan Bones just because, well, I like Morgan Bones. It's a nice pipe. The whole idea behind the radiator pipes are these fins down here literally act like a radiator. So as the smoke is drawn in, you can see there's a cavity made up by the recessed piece on the bottom where the threads are, and this whole thing is hollow. And the idea is the smoke swirls around inside of here and is cooled off. This thing's actually pretty cool to the touch right now even. And it's supposed to cool the smoke before it goes through the stem. So you're supposed to get a cool, dry smoke. I will tell you, it's kind of scary when you smoke this pipe and you turn it over. The amount of liquid that comes out of this thing is a little unnerving, because then you realize that when you're smoking a pipe like this, that moisture is still in this pipe as you're smoking it. So let that be a lesson in terms of how often you should clean your pipes, especially your briar pipes. It's probably true, pipes and camping, and the reason for that is because it cools it so much. Whereas, you know, the briar does stay warmer, and so it doesn't, the moisture that's in the smoke doesn't condense like it would normally condense in the metal pipe. So I think a lot of the moisture that is coming through that smoke is staying in that metal piece, as opposed to on a briar pipe, it would come into your mouth, which is why we all get tongue burn. But you know, on occasion, if I've had tongue burn, there's two of my favorite pipes to go to if I do have tongue burn, but I still want to enjoy a bowl, and that's this pipe and this pipe, because this one has the P-lip, and the P-lip does make a huge difference. It doesn't necessarily make it smoke any cooler, but just the fact that it draws that smoke upward instead of right at your tongue makes a huge difference. I know P-lips are kind of that controversial. Some people like them, some people don't like them, but I enjoy them. I have, I think, 3 different Peterson P-lips, and they all smoke pretty good. Just a little proof that I am still smoking. I mean, after all, this is the YTPC. So I'm interested to know, are you guys... So I'm fairly new to the community. I've been watching, or actively watching, videos since mid-August or so, and I'm finding that it's getting really, really hard to keep up with all of the videos as I kind of get deeper into the community and subscribe to more and more folks. It's I'm finding it really, really hard to kind of get to know actual individuals. There's a few folks that I've gotten to know fairly well. River Rat, I watch all his stuff. You know, there's a handful that I continually go to, but it's been kind of difficult to keep up with everything that's going on in this place. Even though it's a fairly small community, there's a there's a lot of folks posting videos. If I'm not mistaken, Stogie, you're fairly new to the presenting side. Yeah, I know. That's kind of what I'm experiencing now. You know, we all have kind of probably the same ones where it seems like the community gathers. So, you know, when Simon does something on his channel or Briar Blues does something, it seems like everybody kind of gravitates towards what they're doing. But there you go, Stogie. I think I'll be posting one as soon as this is over. And again, it's probably a lot of what you just heard, but that's okay. I subscribe to the tell them once, tell them twice. No reason not to. Yeah. Pipes and camping, what do you mean you've realized a big positive of it all? Just the fact that the community's growing? I mean, it seems like, yeah, yeah, you're definitely not going to run out of content. Or at least it seems like we're not going to run out of content. That's good, you know, and it's, it still kind of boggles my mind that I'm actually quickly approaching 200 subscribers. And it's kind of amazing to me how fast that's happened, especially with all of the videos out there. But, you know, I try to keep my videos, I guess, informative as I can. But I also, and if you've watched recently, I've done some kind of funny videos just because I think there's value in just pure entertainment. You know, Backy Bob has made an appearance or two on my channel, and I'm thinking about doing more. I got a few ideas from the last time Backy Bob showed up. There were a few comments on here's how I pack my pipe, and they were pretty extreme. And I'm thinking I may try to figure out how to do a couple of them. One involved the Harley, using the Harley to pack the pipe, and another involved a shotgun. And purely for entertainment value, that sounds like fun. Yeah, Backy Bob, I didn't think long and hard about that name, as you can tell. He kind of reminds me of Cheech and Chong for some reason. So who knows what's in his pipe. But yeah, as you can tell, I enjoy I enjoy just kind of the entertainment value sometimes. You know, it's you kind of get bogged down a little bit in the all the different reviews, all the different tobaccos, and sometimes it's fun just to kind of have a little fun and play around. But yeah, shotgun shell would potentially make a good tamper. I guess a lot of that depends on the size of the bore. I actually have, so, and I don't have it with me, but one of the things that I do is, if you watch my channel, you know I'm a hunter, and I hunt at least a couple of times a year. And I've made a pipe tamper out of a couple of shells. So yeah, definitely they're good. So well, let's see, we're about 35 minutes here. I didn't expect to go that long. Like I said, I was just kind of playing around with this live thing, trying to figure out how it works, if it works. I might do more of these in the future now that I've kind of broken the cherry, so to speak. Right now, I think I'm going to get back to my and soda bed. And I'm not talking about going to bed. I've got a little esoterica in the bowl, and I feel like I'm neglecting it. So when I do videos, when I do things like that, I have a hard time smoking a pipe because I like to talk. You can probably tell that from the length of my videos. I don't do short videos. I try to keep them as short as I can, but they're typically pretty long. So I think I'm gonna drink this homebrew, relax a little bit, finish this bowl of esoterica, and hit the sack so that I can get up early in the morning and ride a little bit of the hill country here in Texas. And again, I'm sorry if that offends you based on the weather that you're experiencing. Although watching the news tonight, it seems like the entire country's warming up a little bit. So hopefully y'all are staying warm, or as warm as you can be. It'll probably be a little bit chilly tomorrow when I'm riding around on the Harley, but it should be a good time, as it usually is when you're on a bike. So, oh yeah, 6 a.m. Not getting up that early. I mean, it's a Saturday. 4 degrees. Well, that's warmer than you were before, right, Stogie? Yeah, keep the right side up, rubbers down, the whole 9 yards. Yeah, we're going to play it safe tomorrow. It's going to be a fairly short ride. So with that, guys, I'm going to close her out if I can figure out how to. And like I said, y'all stay warm. Might do a little video from the road tomorrow just to let y'all know what the weather's like here in the hill country. Until then, as I end every video, I am Roglad Solely. Keep the rubber side down, folks.